So machine learning in media is cool because in addition to it being a unique time for a number of political reasons, we're bringing in pretty much more unsupervised data, images, videos, text, than at any other point in human history. And that's pretty cool. And as media companies, you guys set the global standard. You've spent decades building pipelines and brands to curate, acquire, and create the best content around. But of course, content that's sitting isn't really very useful. You want to do stuff with that content. You want to make sure that you serve the right content to the right people at the right time. You want to make sure that you can distinguish between real news and fake news. You want to make sure that you can catalog, understand, and search all of the content that you have. And part of the promise of machine learning is in doing all of that stuff for you automatically. So a cool example that I think is relevant is imagine that for every, I had a slide on this. Imagine if for every video that you had in your catalog, you'd be able to tag in real time exactly what's going on and when in the video it's happening. So you'd know at like second 4, for example, in a particular video, that there's a house and somebody eating in a restaurant. That would be pretty powerful. But the problem is that that's much easier said than done. Because applying machine learning to millions of hours of video is actually pretty complicated. Because production machine learning is a very, very different game than non-production machine learning. So just for some background, I'm a data scientist. I majored in data science just downtown at NYU. And in my major, they taught me all about machine learning. They taught us how to model, how to measure accuracy, how to tune hyperparameters. But what they didn't teach us is how to take that machine learning and scale it into production. How to make sure it works for millions of people across the globe with little or no latency. So what that means practically is that if you were to ask me as a data scientist to build a model that could classify your videos, sure, I can do that. But if you'd ask me to scale that model to millions of people across the globe, I would not even know where to start. And that's starting to end up being a pretty significant problem for companies. Because almost everybody's investing in machine intelligence. Everyone's investing in machine learning. But what companies are starting to see after a few years of that is that hiring teams of data scientists isn't always enough. Those data scientists can build the models you need, but when it comes time to productionizing those models, they often hit a barrier. And finding the talent that knows how to scale them is much easier said than done. What all of that ends up translating into is that, number one, if you don't solve this last mile problem, it's very hard to see real ROI in your machine learning. And that in 2018, the most popular method for deploying machine learning at scale is Microsoft PowerPoint. And that's where Algorithmia comes in. We automate the entire DevOps process for AI and machine learning and make scaling your models as simple as a git push by your data scientists. We take care of deployment. We take care of hardware management. We take care of versioning. And what all of that does is it frees up your data scientists and your engineers to focus on those higher value opportunities that they specialize in anyway. We're pretty established so far. We've got about 70,000 developers on the platform who have published more than 5,000 algorithms across 130 different countries. And we've got a couple different product offerings. We have a marketplace for individual developers. We've got a solution for SMBs. And we also work with Fortune 50 enterprises as well as government organizations to help them scale their internal machine learning. And the cool thing about this exists at Facebook, at Uber, at Google as their own internal platforms. What we're doing is bringing that technology and that capability to everybody else. So if you're a company, media or otherwise, who's looking to integrate machine learning and get it into production over the next few years, but you're worried about the infrastructure that it's going to take to get there, I'm Justin. We're Algorithmia. I've got a bunch of cool demos. I'd love to show you on my laptop, and don't be shy.